Broadcasting live from the WGBB World Headquarters here in New York. This is the Big Fat Joey Show with your host, Big Fat Joey.
Hey, Sin, Big Fat Joey, Big Fat Joey Show, biggest thing on radio. What's up?
Good morning. It's another Sunday. Can you believe it?
Another Sunday fun day. You know what? Yesterday was pretty decent. Watched the Derby, right? I forgot what horse won, but he was 15-1 odds, so there's some good money for you. What's that, like somewhere around $32, $33 per dollar? So you throw a hundo down, you get yourself 32 hundo back. Not bad, not bad.
Well, I love this week because I was coming off of my birthday week. Not to get older, but it was fun.
And how was your birthday week?
Very good.
What'd you do for your birthday?
It was nice to go out on the East End and get some food and do some shopping. It felt like it was fun, and the weather was really beautiful.
Well, yeah, it was really nice this past week. Went out east. It was a fun time. Since checking off the calendar of the birthdays. Click, 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 click.
Yes, I can't believe it, but good things. I'm ready for some nice spring weather, which was nice to have some beautiful sun this past week, and hopefully the next week will even be better.
Yeah, I mean today it's all right. It's a little cloudy, a little overcast. I saw some peaks of sun. I don't know. It's one of those days. It's you don't know what to wear, but it was fairly warm out. But I don't think it's going to be one of those big warm summer days that we're looking for.
Well, I know what's going to get us into that feeling of summer today, especially with some yachting.
Yes, today we have on Below Deck Sailing Yacht's very own Gary King.
Well, I'm super excited because he was lots of fun, and I want to know all about his love triangle. Yeah,
Gary is quite the ladies' man.
Well, I could see that. That's for sure.
You know, it was fun. He played around the everyone's favorite radio game, This or That with Sin.
Well, Gary was a lot of fun. I'm sure it'll definitely come through on this interview. And if you love that show, you will love this.
Definitely, listen in. Gary has a lot of insight. And right now he's in beautiful Genoa, Italy, having fun. Get ready for another fun season of filming.
Well, it just sounds absolutely gorgeous. And I am sure everyone who loves Below Deck Sailing Yacht will love to hear this yachty.
Definitely. So his interview is up with us in a few moments. We also have on with us a New York City musician, David D'Alessio. We're listening to his latest hit, Throw Yourself in Front of It. I love having our New York musicians on, homegrown, here back into the city, especially after this pandemic. It's always great to get the musicians from New York on. And, throw yourself in front of it. Hey, listen, no better title than this past year, right? Everyone had to throw themselves in front of this COVID and try to fight their way through it and move along. So we have David D'Alessio's interview and his latest song, Throw Yourself in Front of It. Also, we have on author and illustrator and relative of ours, Nick Viana. Nick's talking about his latest children's book, 10 Tidal Tales. What a great book. You know what? You hear it in the interview. It's not just a book that caters to children and their imagination. It's a fun read for adults as well. Nick takes a lot of time in putting together not only great illustration, colorful, vibrant, but he also puts a lot of time into making the story as likable to children and adults alike. So we're going to listen to his interview as well today. And also, everyone, make sure when you get a chance, pick up his book on Amazon Books as well as your local bookstore, especially if you live upstate. Then also today we have another hit maker with us, musician Dondi, and his new hit song, Live It Up. Dondi's out of the Philadelphia area. He is the front man for the Philadelphia band Jelly Roll. Big Fat Joe, anything that says Jelly Roll on it, I gotta love that. So it was great speaking with Dondi. We're gonna have his interview and his song up as well today. So without any further ado, here's our interview with Gary King from Below Deck Sailing Yacht. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line Gary King from Bravo TV's Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Gary, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me on your show, Joey. Thrilled to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I'm loving it. I'm loving the accent. I know Sin does.
Gary, I'm so excited to have you on. We're going to be fun and flirty with you. Yes, I love the accent. You can talk to me all day.
You and me both, Carl. You and me both. That's
ready.
a lovely accent. Oh, my God. Thanks for having me on your show, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being on. I know the time difference. You're in beautiful Italy right now?
Yes, that is correct. It's just gone 7 p.m. The sun's still shining, and it's a lovely day outside, which is good. So can't complain.
We love Italy, but you know what? I know you're on that sailing ship, so let's get right to it. Gary, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved on Bravo's hit TV series, Below Deck Sailing Yacht?
Well, it was quite a coincidence. I just received a message on Facebook, and I was in South Africa during lockdown at the time, and my mom's like, "Why didn't you apply for the show?" I took it with a pinch of salt, not thinking I was ever made for reality TV. And then, by all means, the message came through the following morning. And I was like, you know what? I might as well give it a shot. And then I guess the rest is history. And now I'm on the hit show, Below Deck. Never look back.
I love the show. I love you with all the ladies. I mean, so when you got that call, like, what did you do? Did you, like, jump up and down?
I sure did. But to be honest, I know it doesn't look like it, but I do lack a lot of self-confidence. So I wasn't sure I was going to get the part. I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds of guys a lot cooler and nicer than me that apply for it. So by the end of it, when I got my contract, yeah, I was thrilled. I was so happy, smile from ear to ear. I honestly didn't know what to expect, to be honest. And I mean, it was one of the craziest experiences of my life. Loved every minute of it.
No, I love you on the show. Like, did you like jump up and down? Did you call like your mom? Like, what did you do when you got that call?
I sure did. I was jumping up and down, being like, "Guys, I might be on the show." I was stoked. Mom was happy, friends was happy, brother was happy. I mean, it was a bit surreal at the time, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't have been happier, to be honest. Like I say, my smile was from ear to ear. I was so happy.
Well, you really work hard. I mean, this is not like a easy job, right? I mean, it's really, you're working.
Yes, we sure are. And thanks for noticing. I take that as a compliment.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been doing this yachting thing for, 10 years now. And I mean, I never thought I'd do a reality show, but when I figured it out, it was just because I'd never watched it. And when I heard it's just them filming of me doing my job, I'm pretty confident in that. And being like, what's the worst that can happen? But then throwing a bunch of beautiful girls and a little bit of alcohol, and wow, I think you've seen the show and you've known what's happened. So,
Yes.
But interesting.
Now, Gary, between the girls, the alcohol, the rocking and rolling of the waves, how was it filming with everyone's non-friend, COVID?
Wow, I tell you what, that was a challenge in its own. I mean, the fact that we could even have a season during COVID was absolutely incredible. I know a majority of my friends, their season was cancelled. So for one, during COVID, we could film and also have a season and meet all these beautiful people. I mean, I guess that might sound a bit cliche, but I mean, that was a highlight. The fact that we could actually do it and finish the whole production while during a pandemic, it was, I take my hat off to the production staff from the logistics behind everything. I mean, they did an absolutely incredible job organizing everything.
Now, the sleeping quarters are cramped on any given day. So how did that work with COVID? Because, I don't think you have 6 feet in the sleeping quarters. How did you guys stay safe?
No, we don't. Yeah, I know. It's very cramped. I can tell you that. Well, I mean, we were tested once every 3 days, and we were social distancing. We were in our own little bubble. We weren't allowed to go out and meet other people, which I heard from previous seasons. They actually went to like nightclubs and bars, which we weren't allowed to. I guess if one person got infected with coronavirus, it would have ruined the whole show. They might have had to shut down. So, like I say, the logistics that went behind it to keep everyone safe and healthy is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Now, let's get to the nitty gritty. You're a ladies' man, and I want to know what is your pickup line? What is the go-to?
Well, you want to use that pickup line? Is that what it is?
I only want to.
pick up line? I don't know.
At this stage of my life, I just want to pick up sandwiches. That's all I want to do. I just want to pick up sandwiches.
As such, I don't think I've got one pickup line. I am a relatively charming guy as is, but I've also got good chats, and I think the good chat in total is my pickup line. I don't have one per se. Although one I do find quite funny is you go up to a girl and you say, hey, how much does a polar bear weigh? And she says, I don't know, enough to break the ice. Hi, I'm Gary.
Oh, I like that. That's good. I like that.
You gonna try that? Is that what it is? Big Fat Joey's gonna try.
Yeah, maybe. To be honest, I've never been a one-line man. So having pickup lines is not really my thing, but I'm quite out there and I've got confidence in speaking to people. So it's more getting out there and showing your confidence. The girls don't like guys that are timid, and they don't like guys that lack confidence either. And I've learned this from a very young age. So if you can show you confident, ask them questions about themselves, show your interest. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, and you can be friends, then cool.
Yeah, that definitely is, I guess, the way of life. Yeah, you want to hang out with confident people. You don't want, to hang out. You want to hang out with the polar bear, not the lemmings.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Couldn't agree with you more there.
So I want to talk about what's your go-to style, because I loved the hat on the last episode. It was so good. It looked so good.
Wow, it's interesting because I like my long hair, and I'll tell you what, my hair's past my shoulders right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on what else I'm wearing. I like a good hat. I like my hair tied up in a man bun. But it all depends on the occasion, I guess that hat was a go-to of mine. Unfortunately, I've misplaced it, which is killing me. But yeah, I do enjoy a hat. But then again, I do like having my hair hanging loose.
And how about, are you like shorts and a t-shirt guy, or do you like getting dressed up?
Oh, I love getting dressed up. Well, now I'm in jeans and a nice shirt, and I've got my hair hanging down. So, interesting. Where yesterday I was tied up.
No, wait, you were tied up? Who tied you up?
Well, no, that's another conversation for another day, God.
There was a slip knot.
Hey, this is our first date. Hey, I like to get kissed before I get swooped.
Well, I want to know, you are a ladies' man. Did you ever get involved in a love triangle before?
Oh, my Lord. It might have happened once or twice. Not intentionally, but what I find very funny is, I've got a lot of time for everyone, especially females. But then when you're hooking up with a girl and then feelings get involved when you've been hooking up for a while. And if she keeps pushing you off or putting you off, telling you it won't ever work, then you're going to find someone new. I'm not getting younger. No one is. So, eventually I want to settle down and have kids, etc. Mm-hmm. And if a girl's going to push me away constantly, and then I hook up with someone else, Deck for doing that.
Right.
But I've been pushed away so many times, and it's just, and then that's how these triangles have come up. And then, oh my God, Gary, I can't believe you did that. But it was never my intention. But if I got pushed away so much, it's hard not to go for someone else. If you understand what I'm saying.
And that's why they call it the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, gosh. It's funny. That was the only instrument I played in school, was the triangle. I loved it.
And what would your ideal girl have? What's the most important quality to you?
I guess a good sense of humor. Mm-hmm. Someone that can make you laugh. I think that's very important. Someone enjoys things that I enjoy, or vice versa. I guess a nice smile, and just someone that to be honest, someone that my mom gets along well with.
I think that's
my mom
important.
gets along well with her. Yeah, that's number one. And then after that, yes, she needs to be able to make me laugh, enjoy the outdoors, sporty type of things,
To have fun, definitely to have fun.
And have fun, yeah. Life's so serious as is. We need more people wanting
Yes.
to have fun.
Yeah, life this past year got serious real fast, real quick, and you know what? We need more fun, and that's why we love the show. Monday nights, 9 p.m. on Bravo TV. That's why we love the show, because it takes you away from all that's going on in your life and the craziness of this COVID, and you get to see these exotic locales. I mean, you're in Italy. What more beautiful place than that could you possibly ask to be stationed?
No, exactly, 100%. And people watching the show also, they can live vicariously through us. Sitting there, not being able to leave, a lot of places still in lockdown. It's like, wow, these guys are on a yacht in amazing exotic locations, and they're going places. And it's just a feel-good TV show, really. Well, also with the drama and everything, it's a bit funny and hysterical, but I think all in all, it's a feel-good TV show.
Now, speaking of drama, there's a whole lot going on this season. I saw you take a little skinny dip with the other two young ladies over there.
I sure did. Yeah. I was so scared they were going to drown, and I just had to jump in after them. I don't know how my clothes got off me, but things like that happened at the end of the day. So I was just being the safety guy around. That's all.
Definitely. I saw the concern in your face. You had your oar sticking out, so anyone needed to grab on. They could always, they wouldn't try. And especially that water is so cloudy and dirty. It'd be almost impossible not to find somebody.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you, I wish the water was a bit warmer.
Yes, that looked cold. But now, with all the drama that goes on and that's been going on, is there anything you regret from this past season?
To be honest, I'm not a man that lives with regrets. There's one or two things that might come up later on in the season, which I wish I'd never said. But no, my actions speak for themselves. I mean, I'm just out to have fun. Life's too short at the end of the day to be too serious. And if people get hurt in the process of that, I really am sorry about that. But at the end of the day, I just want to have a good time. You only live once. And no, I don't have any regrets, to be honest.
Now, since you're in Italy, and I've been to Italy numerous times. Since been in Italy, where's your favorite place that you've been to, or a place that you'd love to go to?
Oh, place I'd love to go to. Interesting call. I'd say somewhere like Greenland or Iceland, just for the natural beauty of it. Also, I've never been to Australia, and I'd absolutely love to go there. And places, I guess, that I've been back to Indonesia 3 times or 4 times for surfing. And it's always on my list. If I ever think of a holiday, Indonesia's up there. It also depends who you're going with. If you're traveling by yourself, if you've got a lovely lady with you, or if I'm traveling with my brother. But I like to explore a lot. I hate staying in the same place for a long period of time. So I don't do all these all-inclusive hotels. That's just not my thing.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, somewhere where I can go and see the country where I'm visiting, or do something in the country like surf or snowboard, something along the lines of that, really.
Yeah, what do you do on your regular day off when you're not working on the yacht and they give you some, little R&R, a little shore relief? What do you do?
Well, I've actually been playing a lot of golf lately. I played when I was a young kid, and then I gave it up for a good couple of years, and I've been getting back into it. Also, due to this pandemic going on, it's the only thing you're really allowed to do. So I've been trying to get my handicap to single figures, which I'm not far from it. But I'd say, I'd be playing golf most of my time off. If I was somewhere in the Caribbean or somewhere that had surf, I'd be surfing on a daily basis. But given we're in the Mediterranean, waves are far and few between around here.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy golf. I think I'm banned from a couple of golf courses here in New York for
alcohol inducted golf.
Yeah, taking the golf cart thinking it's an Indy car. So they're like, no, you gotta calm that down.
I want to know.
I know. I can't imagine. I don't think the club pros would be too happy seeing you do donuts on the green.
Donuts, jumping the sands.
The bunkers. Yeah, brilliant.
I tell him, I said, listen, I don't know where I do more damage, either driving the cart or swinging the clubs, because I got a whole lot of divots here.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't damage yourself. That's all. Just make sure yourself is all in 100% peak physical condition, and then you're good.
Exactly.
Now, I want to know, would Big Fat Joey be able to fit in the bunk? Because he, in the quarters for sleeping, he's 6'7".
Oh, you're a big boy, Joey.
He is
You're
a big boy.
Is that a fat with a pH?
Exactly. Fat with a pH.
Yeah.
You know,
My boy.
I had
My
a
boy,
salad for
Joey.
lunch, so I think I'm around 295 right now today.
It depends.
But I know dinner's going to be
I
three
think-
spins. I know that much.
Yeah, for sure. I think you would have to go straight to the captain's cabin or guest area.
Oh,
We can go cuddle back there, you and I.
I snuggle up with Captain Glenn. I've done worse for a lot less.
I think anyone would snuggle up with Captain Glenn, to be honest, given the chance.
What's one thing that you learned from Captain Glenn?
How to have an easy approach on life and not let things phase you. I mean, he's lived a good life, and he is a bit older than me, and he's experienced a lot. And just his outlook on everything. Take something with a pinch of salt. Don't let little things in life work you up. And just take it as it comes, I guess, because he is the most relaxed, down-to-earth guy ever. I've never seen him raise his voice. And yeah, I mean, absolutely loved working with him. So yeah, I'd say the thing I could take away from is just his easy approach on life and everything that comes with it. I mean, life's a beach,
Yes.
let's say.
Yes.
But if you can take it as it is and don't let the small things in life work you up, the little people that try and bring you down every day, if you can just ignore them and get along well with your life, then at the end of the day, you're going to be the one winning.
No, that's true. Absolutely. Well, I want to know, who's your celebrity crush? You can't
My
say Big Fat
celebrity
Joey.
crush.
Don't say Big Fat
Oh,
Joey.
damn it.
You
No.
can't.
Damn it. What? My celebrity crush. All right, easy. Ava Mendes.
Oh, nice.
Big Fat Joey likes that
Oh, you
one.
like that, Joey?
Ah, yeah.
We got the same phone? Yeah. She's married, damn it.
Yeah, it seems like,
Well, in Hollywood, it doesn't
It's
matter.
a speed
right?
up, not a stop street.
that's right. Yeah, Hollywood doesn't play by fast and hard rules.
No, exactly. Yeah, no. Just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score. I did not say that.
Now, Gary, are you ready to play everyone's favorite radio game, This or That with Sin?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Let's do it, Gary. We're going to be
Yay!
fun and flirty. Woo-woo!
Yeah.
Let's do this. Gary, Captain Morgan or Captain Glenn?
Ooh. Oh, jeez. Can I have them both at the same time?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
How
Tough one, that.
about sand in your sandwich or sand in your shorts?
Ooh, I'll take sand in my shorts any day. I like a bit of friction.
Gilligan or Skipper?
Good looking or a skipper?
Gilligan's Island or Skipper?
Gilligan's Island.
Top bunk or bottom bunk?
Ooh, who am I sharing a cabin with? Top bunk.
Skittles or Starburst?
Skittles for Gary.
And lastly, swim in your bathing suit or swim in your birthday suit?
100% my birthday suit. Woo, woo.
Thank you, we love it.
Thank you.
Make sure you blow out the candles.
Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about who's blowing out those candles.
Yeah. That's for our next interview, guys. Come on, hey, PG.
Now, what is one of your favorite foods? You know, I see how Chef Natasha DeBorg feeds everyone on the boat, the yacht, the boat. What is your favorite? You know, I know you're in Italy. What's something you gravitate towards, or what's your comfort food? Something like, you know what, I don't care where I am. I'm a PB&J sandwich guy. What is something that you love to eat?
Yeah. Actually, something I really love to eat. I'd say cream cheese. Sounds strange. Cream cheese, bovril, and avo with salt and pepper on toast. That is my comfort food. Oh, sounds horrible, but it is delicious.
Listen, I think I'm gonna have to add that to my repertoire of sandwiches because my
Yeah, Philadelphia, some bovril and avo, salt, pepper. Can't go wrong.
One of my favorite odd sandwiches was from a gentleman I worked with 100 years ago, an old school guy. He was 100 back then. I think he's still alive. I think he's like 200 now. Was
It's 400 now, yeah.
whole wheat bread,
Yeah.
Miracle Whip on one side,
What?
peanut butter on the other side, and hot cherry peppers in the middle. That's a good
Oh,
sandwich.
my Lord.
Oh, disgusting.
That does sound, but I mean, you never know, eh? I mean, the first time I tried that sandwich and I like the cream cheese bovril and ever, I was like, oh no, I don't know about that. And ever since, I don't know, it must have been 10 years ago, it's always been my go-to sandwich. But then again, sushi, I absolutely love. Pizza is one of my favorites also. A bit cliche saying that in Italy, but it really is. Funny, you don't find the best pizzas in Italy either, strangely enough.
Yeah, that is strange. And also, right, they serve it by the kilogram, right? I use the U.S. system. Yeah, you can't just get a slice because they'll say, how big of a slice do you want?
Yeah, right. Unless you're doing, I think it's changed now because of the pandemic, but you got like squares, so they'd make a massive pizza, and then like you say, how many, I don't know if it would be a pound because I'm in the metric system, but yeah, would you like it by the gram or the kilogram? And then they cut you a big square piece of pizza.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a bit unorthodox, but hey, I'll take it.
No, I love pizza, and luckily here in New York we have some of the best pizza known to man.
Have you ever been?
I've heard. I need to make my way to New York. I heard the food is phenomenal there.
And you have everything. I mean, one of my favorite places, Grace Papaya on Columbus and 72nd. You get 2 hot dogs and some sort of guava drink. I forget the price. I think it's like $5 and change these days. And I'm telling you, Gary, you're online with everyone who's got $1 in their pocket to men and women who own the whole block buying the same, buying the same hot dog guava drink combo that you're getting. It's a great place for a late night snack.
So sad. Man, I know I've heard so much about that, and it's just because something wouldn't survive if it wasn't good. I mean, New York's got millions of people living there, so your food's got to be good, and there's so much competition. And I've really got to make my way out of there to the Big Apple at some stage.
And it's never been closed in 40 years, 24/7, 365. It's never closed.
What? Really? That's incredible. Take my hats off to them. Yeah.
It's always fun eats.
So how is it in Italy now with COVID? How are the people doing, and how are you doing with being on the boat? How is it working there?
Well, it's just open. Restrictions have just eased yesterday. Mm-hmm. So I was actually at a bar just prior to this, as it's the girl's birthday on board, and it is packed. I think everyone's had a bit too much of this lockdown, to be honest, because it's been we're into our second year now of 2 weeks flattening the curve,
right.
And I think people are a little bit over it, and they just want to get out. They've been confined to their own houses for such a long time, so anytime they can anytime they can go outside, they just do. I mean, the streets have been busy. People are still social distancing, so people are still aware. But, I mean, you can only keep someone locked up for so long until you start going crazy. People need to go out. People are explorers,
How's the weather? How is it? Warm?
Yeah, it's warm. The sun's still up. It's almost 8 p.m. at night. We have daylight saving time. So, yeah, it's actually been lovely. It's just coming out of winter, so I'm getting my summer bod back on. I'm trying to catch a tan, which I'm enjoying. So for the most part, it's been great.
Yeah, Big Fat Joe, I don't do a summer bod. I do an all-year bod. I do all 4 seasons.
Yeah, well, it lasts longer that way. I tell you, you don't disappoint yourself. I mean, my summer bod goes to my winter bod. And it's like, oh, no, Gary, what have you done? I wish I could be more an all-rounder type person.
Yeah, I just find it a lot easier. My doctor, on the other hand, he's not so happy with it, but I'm all right. The benefit is my dog. He catches what little scraps might fall off the plate, so he's happy with the all-year bod.
That is classic. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Now, Gary, as an experienced yachter, what is some advice you can give those listening to my show? Like, you know what? I'd love to do this. I'm a water guy. I'm here on Long Island, and there's been a lot of other yachties on my show, and Bravo seems to be picking a lot of people off of Long Island. But what's some advice you can give those aspiring to want to work in your industry?
Well, I'd say, everyone's got their own ideas coming into the industry, and I must admit, it is not rocket science working on a yacht. But one thing, what helped me getting through my yachting career is listening to people that have been in the industry for a while. yes, I had my own way of doing something because I've been wakeboarding for so long, for instance, and this is how I thought we could have done it. But just to bite your tongue and listen to their advice, I mean, you learn so much working on a boat. It's just respect also, because there is a hierarchy, although everyone feels like a family when you work on a yacht, which is the best thing about it. But there is a hierarchy, and you just got to balance between work and pleasure, really. And if you can balance between that and give 110% when you're working, I guess when you're playing also, I mean, you'll thrive in this industry. It really is. I've done this for 10 years now, and I've never looked back. I couldn't imagine myself doing something else. Maybe being a reality TV the day.
Now, speaking of reality TV star, is there any other shows you'd love to be on, or cross, promote?
Well,
Where else would you like to see yourself?
Well, to be honest, when I first applied for this, I was hoping eventually I'd be able to bump shoulders with my friends Brad and Leo in Hollywood. But whether or not that time comes, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not a big reality TV fan. I must be honest with you. I've never watched much of it. But who knows? Let's see where this takes me. I mean, if it was just the one season and that's it, and I can reap the rewards from it, then so be it. If something else comes, if I get lucky enough to do another season and then maybe head to the West Coast and get something there, we'll see. I mean, play it by ear. I'm happy how I was prior to doing the show. I mean, my life still carries on as it is if I didn't do the show. So I've also learned from my mother to not say count your chickens before they hatch. So don't get too excited about something, because if it fails, you're just going to be disappointed in yourself.
Well, I love you on the show. We love you on the show. I love you on the show. I want you back for the next season.
Do you? I'd love to be back for the next season. I don't know. Maybe they've got everything they wanted out of me. Who knows?
No, I think there's more things coming. I really do. I really, really do.
Okay, well, prepare yourself. Below Deck Sailing Yacht.
I'm ready.
Let's guarantee.
No, it'd be great to have you back on. Like I said, you're all intertwined and act and like a family, and that's great, especially in those small quarters. You need to be, because we know how some families are. You can't be the Hatfield and McCoys because you're on a small confined area.
No, exactly. And everyone on a yacht, you become this dysfunctional family, really. I mean, there's no chance that people won't fight or argue living in close quarters 24/7. And I mean, it's just human nature to have personality conflicts, etc. But it's how you guys end. It's not about the start, it's how you guys end. And if you start off on a rough start but end as best mates, that's something that you can take home with you. And I think that's more important than anything.
That definitely is. Now, Gary, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Bravo's Below Deck Sailing Yacht and Gary King?
Hey, well, follow us on Instagram. My Instagram's account is king_GK. And you can follow Bravo at Bravo TV or Below Deck Sailing Yacht on Instagram.
Well, that sounds great. Gary King, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. It's been a pleasure. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do.
Thank you very much, Big Fat Joey with a PH, and I will chat to you soon.
Thank you, Gary. I had fun with you.
Thank you. You too.
I'm going to watch you on Monday. I'm ready.
Yeah, I can't wait. Let me know how it goes.
It always goes good.
Yes, it always goes good.
Yeah. Awesome. Lots of love, guys. Thank you for having me on your show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for being on. Be well. Be safe.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.
Stay safe out there.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, guys. Bye-bye.
Wow, so what a great interview. That was a great this or that.
How fun is Gary? He is the ladies' man. I can see it.
He is the ladies' man. You know what? And he's in such a beautiful locale. He's surrounded by beautiful people on a beautiful boat in beautiful weather. How could you not be?
I agree. And now, how about now? He's in Italy, the yummy food. I mean, it was great to have him call in from Italy. And
don't forget to catch Gary King on Bravo TV, Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, everyone. Up next is my interview and David D'Alessio's song, Throw Yourself in Front of It. All right, everyone. Let's welcome to the line singer, songwriter, David D'Alessio. David, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Thank you so much, Joe. I'm well. It's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is all mine. I am super excited to talk to you today and everything, David D'Alessio. Your music is inspiring. Your music is thought-provoking. And most importantly, your music is sentimental.
I agree with all of those things. Thank you.
David, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're coming from, because I know you've come from a couple of different places. I'm like, all right, I need a scorecard to keep up with you.
Yeah. I suppose the long story is that I was born in Hawaii, moved to Arizona, and eventually came to New York, where my parents were originally from. So I went full circle from their beginnings back here.
Now, you have a new song that dropped on March 5th. Throw yourself in front of it. Can you tell us a little bit about it, how it came to be, what inspired you to write it?
Absolutely. It's not exactly a new song. It first came out in 2014 on a record I did back then. I was working with a producer by the name of Edward Felixson Teague. And we had been working on a new EP, which I'm going to release later this year. And we had actually just wrapped up the record. And last summer, I got word that he had passed. So it just sort of shocked me. It sent a wave through everything I had done, we had done. And I didn't really know how to go forward putting out the new record. But this song, Throw Yourself in Front of It, from that record, had been getting a little traction. It's actually being used as hold music on for a bunch of companies. And so I'm getting a lot of hits and visibility from that.
Okay.
And and so a friend of mine said, well, why don't you revisit that song? See if you can bring it forward. So the last part of last year, I decided to recut the song, and now you're hearing what the product of that was, in anticipation of the rest of the EP coming out.
Now, what's the name of the EP that's coming out, and do you have an idea when it's going to be coming out?
Yeah, I think we're going to release it in the summer. The name of the EP is called This Far Apart. It sounds like a little bit of a pandemic title, but it's not. It's not a pandemic record.
And you know what? Album cover, maybe a little ruler, 6 foot on there. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll let you have that idea for free.
Okay, thank you. Done. We'll credit you on the back.
That's all I need. Just a little credit. Get the name spelled right. That's all I ask.
You got it.
What inspires you?
Oh my gosh. It could be anything from, watching my daughter say something silly to, going through a really rough period in your life. I always like to say that writing a song is kind of like digging at a fossil. Like an archaeologist digs at a fossil. Sometimes you walk into a pile of dirt and you think you see a bone. And so you go down and you pick it up and it's just a chicken bone. You put it away. But sometimes, you're sitting down there with a brush and you uncover a dinosaur. So, I think there's always this sort of spark of experience or moment that triggers a songwriter's mind toward a subject. But it's a process of unveiling something for me. And it's, you get a moment of inspiration, a line, a melody, whatever it might be. And you're either digging at it or sometimes something washes up right in front of you. Like the whole skeleton is right there. So, songs are a strange process. And songwriting is a strange process. There's not like one way in. I think everybody does I think everybody does it differently.
What else do you have coming up
Yes,
for us
sir.
down the road? What else have you plunged yourself into?
I have the record release coming up this summer.
Mm-hmm.
There's another video. Well, there's a video coming out for Throw in a couple weeks, and I'm hoping to do another video shortly thereafter. But as far as singer-songwriter David D'Alessio, that's about as far as I can see on the horizon right now.
Now, David, so my audience can do this envisioning of your music, of your latest hit, Throw Yourself in Front of It, and of your soon-to-be-released album, This Far Apart. How can they find, follow, and keep up with everything David D'Alessio?
Best place to follow David D'Alessio on Instagram with my handle, David D'Alessio Music. I'll spell the name out. DavidDalessio Music. By the way, there's another family thing I'm going to give you right now, which is, how do you say that guy's last name? I don't really understand it. We always used to say, you can help me along here if I botch this, but
Mm-hmm.
the more he gets, the less he owes.
I like that. I like that. And you know what? Whatever works for people to remember your name. And that's why I chose the name The Big Fat Joey Show. Because, listen, if I come to one of your shows, you're playing in New York City, and I say, hey, tell David Joe's here. The response is going to be, yeah, he knows like 300 Joes. Who are you? Get out of here. I say to someone, tell David Big Fat Joey's here. You'd be like, oh, crap. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, tell him to come on back. Or at least I hope you'll say tell him to come on back. But at least you'll know when I say Big Fat Joey, there's only one person who's going to refer to themselves as that.
Unforgettable. I'll be singing that song for you.
There you go. There you go. See, look at that. Unforgettable. Well, David, this interview is unforgettable. I thank you for it. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do. And we'll speak soon.
Thank you very much, Joe. Pleasure to be here.
Same here. Have a great day.
You as well.
Don't make your eyes or fake your smile. Don't flip your hair or change your style. Don't ask the stars to give you clues. 'Cause your time will come and you can choose, and it comes fast. It gets loud. You'll try to run, it'll knock you down. So throw yourself in front of it. Just throw yourself in front of it. Don't race for first or brace for last. You find your place when you don't ask. Don't play with fire. Don't break the ice. Don't ask your friends. You know what's right. 'Cause it comes fast. It gets loud. You try to run, it'll knock you down. So throw yourself in front of it. Just throw yourself in front of it. Oh, what are we waiting for? Peace of mind comes in ordinary time. What are we waiting say goodbye. 'Cause when you're pressed against the end, you'll start to come alive. You throw yourself in front of it. Just throw yourself in front of it. Just throw yourself in front of it. We could stare all night and wonder or throw ourselves in front of it.
What a cool song.
These artists are so talented, really. You have really talented artists on every week.
No, they are. And like I said, I love having them on. And, the song is very apropos for the times. Throw yourself in front of it. So that was by David D'Alessio. Everyone give him a follow on Instagram and on his website. Who do we have on next, Sin?
Nick Vienna. Oh, I'm so excited. Nick wrote this amazing book. I am thrilled to hear all about it.
And I said Nick's a relative of ours, so it's always good, seeing a relative of ours, putting out a book. At least we know someone who can read it, right?
Absolutely. That has some talent.
All right, so everyone, here is my interview with author and illustrator Nick Vienna. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line, lawyer by day, author and illustrator by night, Nick Vienna. Nick, welcome to Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Good. How are you, Joe? Thanks for having me.
I am doing well. How you been doing? Good?
I've been doing well, keeping busy with COVID and everything else. I've been using the time to hunker down in my studio and do my drawing and get my artwork out there and get my writing together. And so I've been trying to use the time productively, in addition to doing my work and working from home as an attorney. So it's so I've have a lot to keep me occupied, even during the whole lockdown thing.
And occupied you have been. You are on your third book, 10 Title Tales. But before we get into it, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you went from everyday lawyer to the masked man of author and illustrator by night?
Well, sure. The ironic thing is that even before I became a lawyer, I was an artist. I was the kid that you knew in school that was doodling on his drawing pad, on his notebooks and on the sides of paper and everything else. And then over time, I gravitated to becoming a lawyer, but I never really let go of this artistic, creative side of me. It's always been there. It's always been in the background. It's something I like doing in my free time. And so it's always been there. And, over time, what's happened is it's just sort of evolved. So, I had so many drawings that, are stuck in drawers and everything else. Eventually, the way it started is I got some drawings together and I managed to make them into posters. And I was invited to do a gallery with COSI. So I put my drawings up there, and it turns out that one of their customers saw my drawings, called me up, and said, "Hey, listen, I have a book idea. Would you be willing and interested to do the drawings for it?" So I looked at the script, and we worked together, and we collaborated on it, and we made a book, which I illustrated it, and I really liked the process. Now, that book was called My Bed Is, and that was a book that was published by Christine Powell. And it's out there and available on Amazon. But I really liked the process, so I said, you know what? Let me try my hand at not only doing the illustration, but let me see if I can write the story. And so my next attempt was a book called I Want a Whale, and where I both wrote and illustrated it, did all the layouts, did all the editing, and the mechanicals for the book. And it was just a very great, fun, exhilarating new world. This whole idea of, putting together a book. And I really, it was all just about trial and error and putting it together. But it was a great experience. And I just took it and I just went out there and started just shopping it to schools and libraries. And they would invite me in to do a live read and to present. And I would show the kids, how I put the book together. I brought to all my presentations I made, I thought it would just be great to have a giant whale cutout. So I had this whale cutout that I brought with me to all the live events and presentations, and they loved it. And I said, and so I learned from all that. It's like, wow, not only is drawing great, but presenting it in front of a live audience is such a thrill. And you get to hear, from the kids. You get that feedback. You get to hear the questions they have, and they point out things you hadn't thought of. They'll ask you things like, "Are you the main character? Are you the dad in the book, or is that your child who's wants the whale?" And so you get asked all these questions, and you're like, "Wow, this is amazing." And kids are so perceptive. So I have a very basic, self-fulfilling formula of writing and illustrating these books, and then trying to go out there and present them. So after I did I Want a Whale, a couple of years later, I came up with my second one called, The Pie Shaper Caper. Different story, but same basic idea. Written and illustrated, and then published, and then going out and to an audience. And then, unfortunately, that one kind of was disrupted a bit by, COVID, because, obviously schools weren't having the live events anymore for all of last year. But I used that time to get to this new book, my third one, the one you just referenced, 10 Title Tales, and this one is probably, I would say, my best effort, although the other two were good. But with each one, I'm learning and growing and doing things a little different, and so it's just been snowballing in terms of momentum, and so now I'm about ready to get behind this one and get out there and promote this one.
And you were kind enough to send me a copy of your latest book, 10 Title Tales, and I can see why the children love it. I'm a short story type of guy. I don't mind reading a 1,000-page book, but as long as there's 500 different stories in that 1,000-page book, after about 2 or 3 pages, I'm done. And what I like about your book is that it's an easy read, and I know you're going for, obviously, the child reader. Now, what age range is your book for?
So the age range I always say that I find is most receptive is ages 4 to 8, and that's because there's limited words in terms of number of words. It's not 1,000 words on a page. It's pretty straightforward, and I also like to emphasize the picture quality. So that naturally puts you sort of in an age bracket of 4 to 8. But I always like to say that adults are kids too, and so I like to entertain the teachers and the parents as much as I like to entertain the 48-year-old child. But it's because you're kind of forced. You're asked that question. You're kind of forced into a bracket. I always say 4 to 8.
And I think having that mindset of that you're not only writing for the child, but you're writing for the adult. My son's turning 15 this year, and there were some children books that I didn't mind reading over and over and over because I found them interesting. I found them cute. I found them fun to read. And there were others. I was like, all right, it's enough of this book. You know what? Oh, I think that book got lost. I don't know where that went. Maybe the dog ate it, because it just didn't resonate with me as the adult. So I think that's perfect. You got to find that fine line between a book that's comprehensible to a child, but fun and a great read for the adult who's got to read it time after time after time.
Yeah, and the thing, I did I did play around with a different format. Most children's books are one story, one theme. That's it. This one, the stories are short, and it's really 9 short stories within one slightly longer story. The 2 main characters are telling each other stories back and forth, and that accounts for the other 9 stories of the 10. But the great thing is, if you want, you could just focus on one of the tales. You don't have to do all 9. You could still be entertained just picking up one.
Now, where do you get your inspiration from? Obviously, you're not a 4 to 8-year-old anymore. I mean, I kind of wish I was a little bit, maybe back to teenage years. But where do you find your inspirations? Where do you come up with the characters and the wording and the whole storyline?
So that's a really great, interesting question. I have to say that I really pull inspiration from a variety of different sources. So it could be everything from the existing books and cartoons that I grew up with a kid, whether it was Maurice Sendak or Dr. Seuss, or some of the Warner Brothers or the Disney cartoons. A lot of that is sort of just seeped into my background, just because that's something I could go back to over and over. It's like, wow, that just was really great. I also get inspiration from the music I listen to, and sometimes the music will put you in a mood, and when you're drawing, subconsciously it works its way into your expression. Also, believe it or not, like current events, like real live events. Just by way of example, you'll see it on the website once I'm done. That's sort of my next project now for the next week or so. That there's a page on there called "Did You Know?" and I make reference to 3 different factual items that have direct ties and inspiration points, if you will, to the book. Not to give them all away, but one example that I like to use is there's a short title tale called Crustacean Boogie, which is really, funny, interesting title, but it makes reference to Christmas Island. And what you learn is that there actually is a Christmas Island, and there actually is this event where all these thousands and thousands of crabs get together and go to the shoreline at once, kind of like a party, and so there's a hint of history and truth in nature that can inspire, something as fantastical and whimsical as a short title tale cartoon. So I really pull from all different areas of, there's no one source. It's kind of if you were making a soup, it's kind of ingredients coming from all different parts,
Who would not want to find out, one, that there's a Christmas Island, and that, two, you got these crabs boogieing on along there.
Right. Well, it's funny you say that. I don't think I even. I thought that the name Christmas Island was just interesting in and of itself, and was surprised to actually hear that there was an island named that. I didn't look and see whether or not there's any religious significance to it whatsoever or not. It's not any direct relevance at all to my story.
Right.
But I just thought it was like just one of those quirky, funny, like weird things, like, wow, who knows, so yeah, it's, and I guess that's one of the other points of it, is that sometimes what you find in nature and truth is stranger than fiction sometimes, right? So you find some really entertaining things that go on in real life. And anyway, so why can't they be used to inspire? Of course they can, and why not make it fun, So the story 10 Title Tales has 2 main characters. One is a seagull, the other is a sea sprite. And fate would have it that, these 2 creatures, both creatures of the sea, one lives above the sea mostly, the other one below, are brought together, and through circumstance, it's a storm, and they learn to communicate with each other using things they have in common. They use these sea symbols, and they tell each other these stories, of the things they've seen. And the stories I tell are not your typical stories. One involves, again, like Crustacean Boogie. Another one, involves I have a story called The Monk and the Gunk, which really talks about a shipwreck, which is, and you find out why the ship sunk. But it's all in a fun way, and hopefully in an entertaining way. And, with respect to my audience, what I'm really I'm certainly trying to entertain, but I'm also trying to inspire, particularly when I go into these schools. What I found through the other books I've done is they're as interested in this, they're almost as interested in how you came up with it and what you used to make the book as the book itself. Because now the kids understand for the first time that, spelling is relevant. Being able to write a sentence is relevant. Word choice is relevant and important. If I want to do a creative project, here's an example of where that really matters. And even with arts and crafts, they're surprised to find, when I tell them that, hey, raise your hand if you use glue or scissors or tape or, watercolor pencils and pens. And they all raise their hand because that's what they're using. And I said, well, guess what? When I start with these books and I start with these drawings, that's what I use too. And I always like to, in the in-person visits, show them original artwork. And they're like, oh my gosh, wow, look at that. And suddenly like a little light goes off in everyone's head. It's like, you know what? This thing's possible. Maybe I could be the next person doing this kind of thing. So I think it's inspiring on that level. And with this book, with the pages like Do You Know and some of the translation exercises that I have in here, I'm trying to take it to the next level where the education or the learning can be also entertaining. Whether you're learning about truthful facts in nature or you're learning about a translation exercise. So that's what I'm really hoping to do. But again, this is all in fun. I do this as a labor of love. I have my day job, and whatever free time I have, I try and use it to do this thing,
Now, you mentioned you like to bring original artwork out to show the children that, this just doesn't, poof, magically appear. There's a lot of labor behind it and what have you.
Yeah.
How can my audience, if they want to bring you out to their local library, to their elementary school, how can they contact you for that?
Well, thanks for asking. So I have a website that will have my information on it, but my email, my website is prod.com. And on there, you'll be able to see some of my work. You'll see some of the book titles and the covers. You'll have my contact information. I also do reply direct to email. So I have my email is Nick, Nick, Vianna, V as in Victor, IANNA at yahoo.com. So look me up and look up soon 10 Title Tales, and you'll be able to see that book there. And I'm going to have a website up dedicated to this book, which will also have my contact information on there. What else can I say? I have a Instagram page called Knick Knack Books that is just launching right now that you can check out as well. And hopefully I'll be able to post some pictures and some behind-the-scenes stuff that's related to the book and some of my other books. So hopefully with that, people will be able to reach out to me. And, I'd love to do these live events. It's trickier today because of what's happened with COVID. So, you have to learn how to do it virtually or, now with the weather improving, I've talked to bookstores and stuff where they're talking about doing events outside with the, social distancing and all that, which I'm basically, I think we're all in uncharted territory with this, but I'm pretty much open to any type of forum that they would, someone would want to choose, whether it's virtual or, live. I do miss I have to say though, I do miss the good old days where it is, you're in front of an audience and you're talking and raising questions and asking and answering questions and showing, doing a bit, your show and tell bit. There's nothing quite like the person to person, but hey, things are different right now and we have to adjust.
And you mentioned before that, when you meet with children live, they're like little mini Columbos. They're the ones who see deeper into what you've actually written, through a child's eye. So what's like, a few of the crazier comments a child has asked you, about the book or how this scene came to be?
Okay, so I mean, I've had some really crazy ones. Like sometimes they just ask questions direct to you, like, "Well, how old are you?"
Oh, they love that question. How old are you?
They love that. How old are you? They'll ask you that question. They'll ask questions like, "How long did it take you to make the book?" They'll ask, "Are you the dad in the story, or is the girl who's in the story is that your daughter or your child?" And then the one I'll never forget, and it's not meaning to be controversial, but I mean it just sticks in my mind is with the I Want a Whale book, there's a page where the father is building this huge whale tank because he's actually trying to house the whale, which is ridiculous as it's supposed to be in the book. It's supposed to be funny, and so when I get to that page, I'll pose the question to the audience, and how big do you think this whale tank is? And then one kid raised his hand and he said, as big as the wall that Donald Trump is going to build. And I just didn't know what to say. I was speechless after that. So I was just like, wow, it's just like, and kids just with their innocence and their perceptiveness have a way of just sort of cutting through and getting those questions to you. Like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that, So,
right.
Not just, so, and they catch you off balance sometimes. You're not expecting that, but that's part of the fun too. It's almost like a form of, if you were doing a stand-up like a comedian, it's almost a form of improv. You don't know what they're going to throw at you, but it's fun. But and also, I like to, it's a volley. I like to ask questions of them, and I think, and honestly, from a lawyer standpoint, but also from an education standpoint, the ability to ask questions is so important. If you want to get answers, you have to know what questions to ask. So I love the exercise of asking questions and having them ask questions back and forth to me, because that gets the mind going. You start thinking about it, analyzing it, and asking why. So it's a very entertaining exercise for me, and the feedback I've gotten so far is it's a very entertaining exercise for them too.
And you know what? Children, I feel, are some of the best critics. They're unbiased. They're unbashful. They're unashamed. They'll just ask, like I said, how old are you? Are you the father? So that they don't know enough to realize, as adults, there are certain questions that you might ask someone how old they are, but you can say, oh, maybe when did you graduate high school? And then you figure out they graduated in 1970, so that means they were 18, and now it's 2021, so this guy has got to be about 68, 69 years old. But they just come right at, how old are you? Is that you? And I love the fact that they are asking higher order thinking questions. I mean, they're asking, are you the father? They're putting together that, okay, this is a story that could have possibly have been a true story that this guy is fashioning into a character book where, he's playing out what's happened to him in life with characters. I think that's great of them. Yeah.
And I think one question I got with the second book, is there's the main character is his name is Boris the Baker, and he's a baker, but he trips a lot, and he's very klutzy, and he needs helpers. And so you get that question: Are you the baker? Do you have a hard time cooking? It's just like
right. That's a great assimilation. Figuring out, I think he's writing about someone who can't bake, who's a klutz, and maybe this is him.
Right. Exactly. So. Exactly. Is that you? I mean,
and for me, being a novice, I find that you are writing something that is clicking away at their mind to make them think. It's not something that's boring them, or not something that is so simplistic that, like, okay, the cat and the dog run up the hill. There's really not much more to say about that. You're writing
Right.
what they're able to ascertain a deeper meaning from it. And as a parent, and I know you have kids, that's what we want. We want our children to read books that, okay, you read the book on the surface, you understand what they're talking about, but and have the child wonder if there's a deeper meaning. Was the author the klutz? Was the author the person who can't bake? All these
Right.
different assumptions that the child can make, which is, as a child, are great. As an adult, assumptions, if we all remember that great Odd Couple episode, oh God, probably 40 or 50 years ago, when you break up the word assume, we all know what happens there.
Right. I'll give you another example really quick with my second book. So there's a part of the story is that, because the baker, he can't cook or he can't bake properly and he has these helpers, he decides that he's going to get this pie shaper machine, and the machine's going to basically do everything and be more efficient and faster with the pies and all that. And long and short of the story is that the pie shaper machine takes over the factory and creates basically a sludge of pie ingredients. And I use the word sludgy pie. I use the phrase sludgy pie. Like, he makes sludgy pies.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'll ask the kids, who here has had a sludgy pie? Now, sludgy pies probably don't exist. No one really knows what they are, but the phrase sort of invites the audience to bake one up. And then you'll be surprised. There's always at least half a dozen kids that raise their hands, swear that they've had a sludgy pie, and then they proceed to tell me exactly what it looks like and tastes like to the rest of the class. And they're very happy to do so. So that's just, another just example of, where the Q&A and the back and forth can take on a life of its own. I think I mentioned, all my books are available on Amazon.com if you look up the title. So you have I Want a Whale. The other one is called the Pie Shaper Caper. And this one is called 10 Title Tales. So if you go on Amazon, it should be pretty easy to find. And I gave all my handles before, and you can see some of the artwork, some backstory, what I look like. Although it's funny, like my daughter said to me, Dad, it's probably time for you to update the author picture. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, it's time. I was like, okay, one more, and that's it.
Well, there you go. And, your daughter's a teenager, and they're more in tune with, I guess, what people should look like. I know my son, I learned things from him. Things have changed since, we were in college and in high school. So, every so often, he teaches me something new. But, yeah, if your daughter's saying, Dad, you need a new pick, you need a new pick.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because if you look in the sort of the dedication page in the book, I do dedicate the book to her, my daughter, for her creative insights. Because when I was putting the book together, and you're kind of in this bubble. You're in this bubble for months, maybe months and months at a time, and you're sort of bouncing ideas off yourself, right? And then when you get a draft together and you think you're ready, you're good. Then all of a sudden, you reveal it to somebody, and I revealed it to her. And after I revealed it to her, I felt I don't want to say embarrassed, but sort of almost angry at myself for thinking that I was ready, because she pointed out all these different things. I'm like, wow, yeah, you're right. Wow, you're right. So that's just another example. Even though she's older, than my audience, just an example of how that perception from somebody else, or that directness from somebody else, can really help and benefit you, in your presentation or the way you communicate or how you put together books, all that. So it's really interesting.
Well, it's always good having a second set of eyes, especially, our eyes are a little farther out age-wise compared to your target audience. Your daughter, even, she's a teenager, so she's only, 10 or 15 years off of the children, where me and you are a couple of times
right,
that off the children.
Hell, I need glasses now to read what I'm writing, so...
Oh, trust me. If I don't put my glasses on when I'm running the board here, all these color lights all turn to a big blur. It looks like a big rainbow. I'm like, oh boy, I gotta either close an eye or so that's why. I mean, luckily, unluckily, I wear my glasses anyway. But yeah, as we get older, you need to focus in on it. But that's great, that your daughter is able to put some perspective on what you're writing, so that it's more up to date and it's more in sync with what's going on in 2021. Well, you know what? I think what everyone needs to do to get the inspiration going is to pick up your books, I Want a Whale, The Pie Shaper Caper, and your newest upcoming release, 10 Tidal Tales. So one more time, Nick, what's the best website that they can go to or social media handle to find you so they can order your books?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is Nick Nack Books, NICK NACK Books, and I have a website up there right now. You can look it up. It's www.nicknackprod.com, and you'll see all three of my books up there. And also, as I mentioned, I do have my archaic email handle of nickviana@yahoo.com.
All right. Well, lawyer by day, author and illustrator by night, Nick Viana, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
What fun, Sin. And you know what? And we have the book in front of us. He was kind enough to send us out a copy, taking a look at it. And he originally sent me a digital version, and the digital version does not do justice to the book. The book is so vibrant, so fun to read, and it's really eye-catching.
I love it. And I like holding something, too. Like, I love, the old style, having a book in my hand.
I'm the same way. I like a book in my hand. I like the newspaper. I definitely with a newspaper, I don't feel that you get all the stories. When you read a newspaper, once they put a big article on whatever page, let's say whatever page 4, 5, 6, whatever, there's always a little room left, and they'll throw a little 5-line article in there. How some fire department had to rescue 3 kittens out of a storm drain, or something like that. You don't get that when you're reading online because they just pump out the info that they want you to see.
No, I think he did a great job, and definitely support, and go out to those stores and buy those new books.
Yeah, definitely support Nick and all our book writers and illustrators, as well as all our indie musicians. That's what makes the show fun, is we have all these independent artists, and they're all artists in their own genres, and we need to stay out there and support them because, especially during this COVID, what kept us going? Reading books, reading magazines, reading newspapers, listening to music. A lot of artists were very what's the word I'm looking for? Innovative, and they were doing live streams and mini concerts just to keep their name out there in front of everyone and keep everyone entertained during this time.
And their fans happy.
Well, what we're going to do today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end the show a little differently. We're going to wrap up with my next interview with musician Dondi, and immediately after that, we're going to hear his latest hit single, Live It Up. But for now, this is Big Fat Joey, Big Fat Joey Show, biggest thing on radio here with Sin, reminding everyone to make every sandwich count. Peace. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line artist, producer, Global Music Award winner, Dondi. Dondi, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Hey, Joey, how you doing? I hope everybody's fine. What's going on today?
Dondi.
Yes, sir.
You've been doing this quite some time, singing, performing, and now a handful of years, about 10 years or so, a recording artist. So do this. Take me back, way back to the beginning. How did you get involved and fall in love with music?
Well, when I was about 7 or 8, I wanted to be Michael Jackson. Like most little kids, back then that were my age, we wanted to sing and dance. But I had an opportunity to audition for the Philadelphia Musical Academy Boys Choir. And It was headed up by a gentleman by the name of Dr. Colton Lake. And I auditioned. My grandfather took me to the audition, and he thought I had something special, and put me in the choir. And I was 8 back then. I was a soprano, and I stayed in the choir until my voice changed, and I could no longer sing boys' music. So when my voice got too deep at around 13, I had to take off. But it was an experience that I will never forget. I keep it with me, and I'm still Facebook friends with some of the guys in the choir. We got to do some great things when I was with that choir. We did an international competition in Wales. That was a lot of fun. We went to Paris. We traveled to London. And so it was a lifetime experience, and I've had that bug ever since.
It definitely, I mean, a young man, you know, between the age of 18 and 13, you're traveling the world, you're doing what you love. I mean, and, you know, you were trying to fulfill your shoes of the king of pop, Michael Jackson, who left us way, way too soon, because I can only imagine the music he'd be putting out now, which would blow the socks off of people, because, you know, he was not only a talented singer, writer, and artist. I mean, he could dance like he had, you know, gravity shoes on. The things he could do, like, is he on the ground? What is he doing over there? He's spinning. I
know, right? I know.
It's
amazing.
It's such a shame. I think, what's it? What are we, 9, 10? It's a 10 or 11 years now he's gone. This June will make it. So I just never, I got in my car. I was on my way home from work. I'm like, what? Who? What? I was like,
yeah.
But you know what? I'm glad he inspired you and millions of other boys and girls out there who always wanted to get into the music business. So after that, once you're out of the choir, because now, you know, you kind of like Menudo, you kind of aged out. You can no longer, you know, have that young singing voice.
Yeah.
Where did you go from there? What did you do?
Well, I went to a performing arts high school here in Philadelphia, and pardon me, excuse me. Graduated from there, and then I went into the Army for 4 years, and just trying to find, you know, a young man, not knowing who he is or what he wanted to do with his life. So I took a little while and served my country, and when I got out of the Army, I found myself a little band. And I was walking down the street one night, and I heard this band rehearsing in someone's basement. And so me, brave man that I am, I went and knocked on the door and asked them if they needed a singer. And they did, and they auditioned me. The name of that group was the Illusion Band. Some neighborhood guys, like a garage band, and you know, we did some local shows, you know, and you know, the little corner bars and clubs here in Philly and Camden, New Jersey, and other parts of New Jersey, and I did that for a few years, and then I was lucky enough to come across a band who had been legends here in the city called Soul the Valiant Sports of Nature. And I joined them for a little while, and then Jelly Roll found me. So once Jelly Roll found me, that was a solid living. You know, baby needs a new pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you have to step your game up. And Jelly Roll's more of a event band, you know.
Okay.
We do a lot of weddings and large corporate events, and we got the opportunity to play the White House, our nation's White House, a couple of times.
Oh, nice.
And that was quite an experience and quite a shock to me because they let me in, but it was a lot of fun. And one day I just decided, you know, I'm doing all this cover music. I'm playing everybody else's stuff, and I know I can write. You know, I know that I have this creative thing in me. And so I just started writing music. And you know, I'm still doing it today. I'm still doing it today, and I'm excited about the things that I'm putting out. My first album was "Give Me Your Love," and then I released another album. It was called "Imagine That." Mm-hmm. My third album I called "Don't Call Me Junior" because it was my junior album. Then I released a 5-song EP. And then now this album here is my 5th album, Swim in Your Skin. So here we are today.
So first and foremost, thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome.
And tell us a little bit about your latest album, which is coming out on August 6th, Swim in Your Skin.
Well, Swim in Your Skin was written totally during the pandemic. I must have written 40 songs during this past year or so.
Wow.
But only 12 are good enough to make the album. So it's a process. But basically Swim in Your Skin is kind of about that. The title track is sort of a romantic R&B, smooth, sexy vibe about being with the person you care most about. But also, you know, when you say swim in your skin, you know, it can be thought of as like walking in somebody else's shoes, putting yourself in someone else's place, you know, to see what they're feeling, how they're reacting, you know. I'd like to swim in your skin for a minute. Even though the song it takes a romantic connotation, you know, people interpret music the way that they want. It's all subjective, you know. Mm-hmm. And so the song goes from romantic to upbeat, just crazy fun with one of the singles. The first single is "Live It Up." And, you know, Live It Up is about how life is short, you know, and you have to take the time to enjoy yourself in this life and not to take yourself so seriously. And, you know, we are all one community, whether we like it or not. And we have to come together, and we're going to get through these hard times because we are really going through some tumultuous times, and we're going to get through it, and you know, we need to live it up. So and then, you know, the album also touches on some, you know, social issues about what's going on today, and so it's a wide ranging album from, you know, songs that I kind of like call soul pop, you know, to some serious smooth R&B. You know, it encompasses a lot of things, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy the way that it came out, and I'm proud of the piece of work. You know, it's a nice piece of work, and I'm happy with it.
One of your signature songs, which is dropping on April 23rd, is "Live It Up." Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that was the one I was talking about. You know, that life is too short. You know, we've got to take each day, you know, as it is, and enjoy it. You know, and part of the song, I say, everybody just sing along. You know, and there's a little scat that goes on, dop, 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 and you know, I'm trying to get everybody to just lighten up and live it up. You know. It's good. Life is good, and you can find joy in the smallest things in this life, you know. But you have to be open to it. You got to look for the joy.
And you're right. You have to look for the joy because, especially in this time of the pandemic, it's finally, hopefully, maybe we're turning the corner or at the corner. I don't know, looking both ways before we cross the street. You know, it's coming up. It's in springtime right now here on the East Coast. Well, obviously in the Northern Hemisphere, It would just be nice for things to get somewhat back to normal, where everyone can go out, back to concerts, back to music venues, listen to your favorite artists like yourself, Dondi, and just have a good time. Now, Dondi, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Dondi and pick up your new music?
Okay, well, my website is alldondi.com, and the heading for that is For the Love of R&B, but it's alldondi.com. You can find me on Twitter at alldondi on SoundCloud at alldondi and also on Instagram, it's alldondi. So those 3 things. And on Facebook, you can find me, it's Dondi the Songwriter on Facebook.
And Dondi spelled D-O-N...
D-O-N-D-I.
D-I. Beautiful. Well, Dondi, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. It's been nothing but a pleasure. I wish you nothing but luck.
It's been my pleasure.
And success in all that you do. And we shall speak soon.
Thank you so much, Joey. Have a great day now.
Thank you. You too.
All righty.
Yeah, everybody live it up. Yeah, if you wanna touch the sky, you gotta live it up. Down. I've been thinking, not got nothing but time. We all have problems. You have yours, I got mine. We all get one life to live. Take this chance and live to give. L-O-V-E, love, that's what living is. We're all in this together, so you know we've got to learn to stick together. Every single man, woman, and child. All just up and you got nowhere to go. Just know you're not alone. Things are gonna get better. Put your worries down and live it up. Live it up. Everybody gotta swing and live it up. Let's swing it. It up. And down. Everybody sing it. It up. Hold your head up high, reach for the sun. You wanna touch the sky, you gotta live it up. You gotta live it up. So damn crazy. I'm talking about the world we're in. We don't know now where it starts or where it ends. Only get one life to live. You won't get no second chance. You gon' need some love. Dig your circumstance. We're all in this together, so you know we gotta learn to get along together now. Every single man, woman, and little child, all just up and you got nowhere to go. You gotta know you're not alone. So if you wanna feel better, put your troubles away and sing this song. Live it up. When you feel that swing, you gotta live it up. Let's swing it. It up. Down. Everybody sing it. It up. Come on, everybody, just sing along. You wanna touch the sky, you gotta live it up. We all feel down when things get a little. Sometimes things can get a little rough. Make the world a little better when you help somebody. Reach on down, be kind and help somebody up. The kind of things that people wanna talk about. Be the kind of person people talk about, yeah. We become one when everybody just shout it. Come on, everybody, sing it loud. Live it up. Feel good about your life and live it up. Let's swing it. It up. Swing it. Come on, sing it out loud. Sing it. It up. Hold your head up high, reach for the sun. You wanna touch the sky, you gotta live it. Just reach out your hand and touch the sky.